Hello everybody, we are the Nerdaholics. I'm Sean.
I'm Jack. Hello.
And it's been a while since we did one of these.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, I did like a little update video a couple of days ago.
That's true. Bus stop.
At the bus stop, just
Bus
over
stop,
there,
yes, always
over there somewhere. We figured we need to. We want to do more content for you guys, and we want to do more content for ourselves as well because it keeps our minds occupied from the mundane reality of life.
Life is pants. The thing this is fun, and this is always good.
It is always good. It is when we can't really think of anything to talk about. We still find something to talk about, don't we?
It's why we're the rambling drunkards.
We're the rambling drunkards. Indeed. So we do actually have a specific topic for you. I'm not making sure I'm looking in the right place. Yeah, yeah. We're so professional here at Nerdaholics.
We're classy.
That's what we do. So today's topic is our general thoughts on. Well, it's going to be a Doctor Who related video, but specific.
Surprise!
Eh? Well, we actually have like an intent on following a certain topic within Doctor Who, which is Jodie Whittaker and her recent costume revelation. And it's obviously going to be divisive among fandom, but it's also finding fandom at the moment is really putting me off the whole show in general because there seems to be a case of if you don't like something then you're a complete arsehole or a bigot or you're not a true fan of Doctor Who. And to me that really irritates me.
Yes.
It seems very chaotic at the moment in the world of Doctor Who. But anyway, onto the topic at hand. First of all, what are your thoughts on A, Jodie Whittaker being cast as the new Doctor, and B, the costume?
Okay. Right. Okay. Let's just do the first obvious question at the beginning, which is the gender side of things.
Yeah.
I'm not bothered about it being a female Doctor.
Okay.
It's kind of my big issue is this is going to be a big change for fans, and while that is not a problem because from what I understand, the ratings of the show have been going down in the last 5 years or so, and it's like, okay, you want to change things up to make it work better.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. And I agree. The most obvious thing you could do is like, okay, well, the biggest change we can make is make the Doctor a woman. Okay, but you've got to do two things with that. One, you've got to make sure the character of the Doctor is first and foremost. It's the Doctor that happens to be a woman, not a woman who happens to be the Doctor.
Agreed.
And then the second thing is you've got to get the right actress. You've got to sell this. Now, not wishing to say anything bad about Peter Capaldi because he's been an absolute legend as the Doctor.
Oh, he's been great.
Riding in on a tank playing the electric guitar is possibly one of my favourite moments of all of New Doctor Who.
That entrance alone just for me made that series.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. And I know a lot of people don't like it, and I'm like, I suppose we must be in the minority because I thought that season as a whole was great.
I nearly wet myself. It was fantastic. Just that one moment. It's like this is a tank. I bought it from a fish. I got it off the internet. This will be funny in 200 years. It's a slow burn.
And it's just like he's having fun with it.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
But then it's like, okay, here's the thing though. Let's go back a bit. Matt Smith is gone, right? He is regenerating. He takes off his bow. I'll remember when the Doctor is me. Takes off his bow tie, drops it on the floor, and then you introduce a female Doctor right there and then. Complete surprise.
Yeah.
Right? And if you introduce the right actress, so you need someone with like gravitas and maybe like Maggie Smith if she was like 10, 15 years younger.
Yeah.
Or Helen Mirren if she's like 5 years younger.
Yeah.
And let's what's her name? Olivia Colman.
See, Olivia Colman.
This is the name that's come up a lot.
Yeah, exactly. And for me, and this is no disrespect to Jodie Whittaker herself.
No,
but
no disrespect to her.
As someone who's watched all of Broadchurch, and while she was good, for me, I'd have thought it would have been a more natural progression to have Olivia Colman in a role, for several reasons. A, she does comedy down to a T, and the Doctor has always had comedy in his characteristics. Okay, so he mainly down to his quirky nature, you have that element of comedy in there. Not like slapstick, but no. He's alien. Therefore, he's going to do things that aren't going to be exactly what you would consider human in his behaviour. John Pertwee was great at it. Tom Baker was great at it. Basically all the Doctors, all of them are great.
All of them know it to various degrees, and it's all worked very well. And it's like, okay, I've seen a couple of things that Jodie Whittaker has been in, And okay, I don't want to be rude, but I don't see her as being the Doctor.
No, I mean,
It's
I
like
agree.
She's good at some. She's been good in various roles, but it's like you're not the Doctor, and I'm
No.
sorry. You know, you can. You know, I could get a pile of poo and like paint it red and call it a rose. It doesn't make it a rose.
Yeah,
Not
a polished
to say
turd
that,
is still a polished turd.
Not to say that Jodie Whittaker is a polished poo.
No.
I'm going to put that out there. It's a bad analogy.
We're already sensing the flaming keyboards of fire anyway.
Yeah, from all 4 of our subscribers.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, fire's still fire. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I agree because, and don't get me wrong, she's not a bad actress, but you know, there's. In that series, I found Olivia Colman a more interesting character.
Yeah.
I found her more rounded as an actress.
Yeah.
And I feel like she just has that oddness about her.
Yeah.
That for me makes the Doctor. Now, obviously, you know, you're gonna get the whole you can't judge her until you've seen her. Yeah, but then how many people have made that judgment about other actors that have played the Doctor?
Well, this is it. It's kind of like the thing is. You can say that for all of them because when Matt Smith took over from David Tennant, because David Tennant was a much beloved Doctor.
And fair play to him, he was a good Doctor.
He was a very good Doctor.
He got annoying towards the end, in my personal opinion, but you know, he was still very good.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, David Tennant's a fantastic actor. He can sell pretty much anything, and that's fine.
Yeah.
And you know when you look at Matt Smith taking over, Matt Smith got a lot of stick for the first season, but then you got the whole regeneration. Thing for the fans as well, because it takes like a season to be like, oh, I hate this Doctor because I love the last one so much.
You're always going to get a bit of a hangover from the last Doctor.
Then the second season's like, oh, I'm kind of liking this guy, and then the third season's like, I don't want you to go.
Yeah,
when
eventually it does kind of get like that. I mean, for me, Matt Smith, similarly to Christopher Eccleston, as we've already talked about in previous videos. For me, Matt Smith instantly was the Doctor for me. He had that alien-like quality to him anyway.
Yeah.
And Matt Smith, to be fair to him, he just went for it straight away, and you know, he not a detriment to him personally, but he has a bit of an odd face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not odd in like a bad looking way. It's just. He
looks
just
unique.
shake. Yeah, exactly. He looks
unique.
kind of alien.
Yeah.
No, this isn't a dig at him. It's just it kind of does, and it kind of works.
It's who he is. It's what happens, and that's how it works, and that's what you need.
And you know, you have to again going back to the point of you've got to give her a chance. You know, you got to get like you did the other actors that were cast in the role. There's always going to be doubt about a certain actor, and okay, fair enough. Yeah, you got to give him a chance, but. That's not to say you're not allowed to have some caution about who the actor is cast as.
If you're going for a big change, you want to put this in the hands of the best person possible.
The best actor
because
for the role.
You've got to sell this to the fans on the basis that, you know, we've got to watch this person be the Doctor and believe that they're the Doctor. They just look a bit different this time. You know? And you know what? The thing is, because you've already established that any Time Lord can be any gender or any race or anything else. The Doctor could turn into a green blob, 26 tentacles, and that could happen.
Which would be actually far more interesting than the same old humanoid that we keep getting. But you know, take a risk one day.
Yeah, that's fine. And we get why it's limited to being people,
obviously,
for obvious actor reasons.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But then it's like, so I tell you what. Female actresses out there that are amazing at what they do. Yeah. They have the gravitas, they have the authority, they have just that power in how they act.
I would have personally, if it was up, if I was deciding right, it's going to be a female Doctor regardless. Fine, whatever. You know, I would have gone for someone more, someone like Gwendolyn Christie, who plays Brienne of Tarth in Game of Thrones.
She would be good.
Yeah, I mean, she just has that Doctor-like quality about her.
She has the look to her that's a little bit alien.
Just from her, exactly. Yeah. Not because she's played a certain character, because I just think she seems more suited to the role. Yeah. And of course, maybe we're going to be proved wrong, and I hope we are. It's more to do with trepidation of the actor or actress themselves. Well, they're all actors now. There's no actor or actresses anymore. It's actor. Yeah. It's more to do with the trepidation of the particular person playing the Doctor rather than the fact that it's going to be a female.
Yeah, this is it. It's like, look...
But even that gets criticism because it's like, oh no, really, you just don't want to have a female Doctor. And it's like look, to be fair, and I'll be brutally honest, it is a big bloody change.
It is.
And it's something that...
Which is why it should have been a safe choice. You should have picked someone who was obviously going to be safe for the role.
And people say, oh, well, you know, why is it such an issue for the Doctor to now be a female? Because they're a shape-shifting alien who can change their face. It's like, yeah, no, that's fair enough, yeah, but it just seems like recently it feels to me like it's pandering to people who are like, oh, well, if it's not a female, then everyone's an asshole.
It's pandering.
Do you know what I mean?
The sad thing is, it's pandering to people who probably don't watch the show, and that's the problem. But
that's a good point.
We'll move over from that for a second, because that's a whole separate argument.
That's another video.
That's another video.
Yeah.
But to go back, it's like, for me to be happy with a female Doctor, no offence to Jodie Whittaker, it's like you'd have to sell me on the actress. And again, like I said, there's plenty of good female actresses out there. You know, let's use Gwendolyn Christie, because let's be honest, right? She's not like A-list, but she's well known enough.
Yeah, and I mean, now that she's in Star Wars, she pretty much is A-list.
Pretty much, yeah.
But do you know what I mean? But she's one of those. She's a rare find. That makes sense. Like before Game of Thrones, I didn't know. I never knew what she was in before.
Yeah.
I didn't. You know, I hadn't seen her in anything else. I'm sure she's been doing lots of stuff before then.
Yeah.
But she was just that kind of strong, authoritative kind of character, which is, in my eyes, what the Doctor is. Now, that's not to say that Jodie Whittaker might not be that. Maybe she will. Maybe she'll surprise us. Exactly, and then it goes back to the wait and see argument. But my message to people who are like completely dismissive of people who are a little bit, you know, anxious and, you know, withdrawing, you know, reserving judgment about this whole situation. You're allowed to reserve judgment. Yeah, it's not a bad thing. And yet there are a lot of people that I've encountered on Twitter and on YouTube who are basically saying, oh, how dare you reserve judgment? Oh, you must be fucking sexist. Oh, that's it. Oh, you're not a true fan of Doctor Who. It's
if
like,
you're playing poker,
hang on a minute.
Do you put all your cards down straight away?
Exactly.
No,
it's like the same way that I reserve judgment. I've reserved judgment when David Tennant was cast. I reserved judgment when Matt Smith was cast. Hell, even back in the day, not that I was around then, but if I was around, I would have reserved judgment that Tom Baker was cast. Yeah. Because I'd be like, hang on a minute. Who is this weirdo? Do you know what I mean? He's like, I've not really seen him in anything else, but it's not a case of reserving judgment because she's a woman. It's reserving judgment because of because of who she is.
She's a good
because of what she's been in before. It hasn't given me any kind of she'll be great. Whereas like someone like Olivia Colman would be great, in my opinion.
Oh, that's a drop call from the missus. Bear with me 1 second.
That's probably a case of, can you two shut up?
Saved
by the bell there. You go. What am I doing? I can't pause a live video, you idiot. So I just wish people had a bit more tolerance to Doctor Who fans like myself and Jack, who aren't averse to the idea of a female Doctor. I think it comes down to the reasons why it was just a case of, well, we have to have a female Doctor, so we're just going to cast her in the role. She just doesn't feel like the Doctor to me, whereas someone like I say, Gwendolyn Christie or Lena Headey or Olivia Colman, for me, they just feel like they bring more to the table when they act, and we have to wait and see, but that doesn't mean that we can't have reservations about the casting. And obviously, it's the biggest change in Doctor Who's history since Patrick Troughton was cast. So, you know, to say that you can't have any kind of reservations whatsoever, or you're deemed to be a complete arsehole, or you're not a true fan because you must think everything is amazing going forward from now on, and everything's so like progressive. It's like, well, that's fine, but I'm not really that excited about her casting. No. And that's just the way it is. And I'll see how it goes, but I don't know.
Now, moving in towards the costume, Jodie Whittaker's costume, if this is how she chose to look as the Doctor, with a black t-shirt with a rainbow stripe across the chest, yellow suspenders, pink TARDIS boot,
and a long silver coat, it's like, to me, I don't think she chose that. And the costume to me just looks like it's been, the production team have gone, right, let's choose let's choose something from this era and throw it on her. Let's choose the braces and throw it on her. Let's choose the boots. Let's just choose this. Let's just throw all this kind of shit on her, and it's just like it just looks like the costume department have gone back to the archives and decided to vomit pieces of clothing over this actress, and to me it just doesn't go well whatsoever. It's a bit of a clusterfuck as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. And again, it's not a case of you're just being negative because you don't like the choice. No, the fact is, it's like if you go back to some of the other costumes, they're original in themselves. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
It's like even Colin Baker's weird coat.
Even Colin Baker's coat was something completely out of left field, and okay, it was a bit of a jokey looking kind of thing, and it was a bit sort of out there and loud and lavish, but it hadn't been done before.
No.
You know what I mean? In the same way that
it was a very big change when you look at, say,
John Pertwee's outfits weren't done before. They were very flamboyant and lavish, but they were very suave, and that was his costume. It wasn't a highlight reel like hers is, or hers looks like it's going to be, from what we've seen so far.
Now,
it just looks like desperation to me.
This is it. The biggest problem here is it's like, okay, no shame on Jodie Whittaker. She's probably just been offered. Do you want a job? Like it's a case of like she had a phone call saying, "Do you want to be the Doctor?"
Well, I think it's definitely a case of who you know, because obviously Chris Chibnall is coming over from Broadchurch. Yeah. She was in Broadchurch. Oh, hang on. You're my mate, I'll bring you over, I'll give you the gig, and then we'll sort it for 3 years. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Basically, and I think the costume department have gone, right, this is a new era, this is a new generation of Doctor Who. How do we keep the old fans happy? Right, we'll take bits and pieces of each of the Doctors from previous years and we'll shove it on her.
I'm surprised she's not wearing Tom Baker's scarf.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I mean, the thing across, the stripy bit across the thing is kind of like the scarf.
That's as close as you can get without being offensive.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, come on, just at least if you're gonna give her something to work with, give her something original. Do you know what I mean? It's like we're not idiots. We know that each Doctor's going to have a different costume to the rest. Even Christopher Eccleston's okay. He just looked like a normal bloke in a leather jacket.
Yeah.
But he didn't look like any of the other Doctors beforehand. No. Do you know what I mean? So
he hasn't looked like any other Doctor since. The only exception being like John Hurt's Time War Doctor, but that was kind of like a natural progression into that. That was a deliberate thing.
Yeah, because it was like, right, we couldn't get Christopher Eccleston back, and we'll kind of have a little sort of progression into Christopher Eccleston because he was an arsehole into the 50th anniversary.
It makes you wonder if Christopher Eccleston had come back for the 50th anniversary, would they got rid of John Hurt completely and just had like he was the Doctor in the Time War?
Well, I don't think they would have even considered John Hurt, because the reason why they got John Hurt is because Christopher Eccleston would do it. I mean, that's as far as I understand, is obviously Stephen Moffat offered the part to Christopher Eccleston and he turned it down. So then he had to basically go back to the drawing board and think, okay, how are we going to fill this slot in? And then to Moffat's credit, I mean, I've given him a lot of shit in the last sort of year or so.
We have, yeah.
For his like writing decisions and the fact that he's basically had all the companions overshadow Capaldi, but that's another video for another day. But he did come up with a very good consolation prize to the point where it's actually, you know what, John Hurt is a bigger coup than Christopher Eccleston as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Obviously it would have been nice for him to have done it, but you got John fucking Hurt instead.
Yes, it's like Christopher Eccleston.
You didn't just omit him completely.
Christopher Eccleston, you're like 7 out of 10 in terms of acting talent. That's not bad.
No, that's above average.
But John Hurt's one of these people who can basically sell you on an emotion just by how he blinks.
Oh yeah.
Okay, obviously not anymore because he's passed away.
Yeah.
But
I mean, if he did that now, that would be terrifying. But
comes out of the grave.
Yeah, well, he's always there.
It's always there.
He's always there. So to summarise,
if I'm looking at this being 100% objective, I don't dislike Jodie Whittaker. I'm waiting, but I am.
There's nothing against her as a person.
It's like doing a trapeze act, right? You're walking across that tightrope and there's no safety net, right?
Yeah.
If you had, say, a more established actress, someone you know who had the gravitas, who had that power, who had that influence, who had just that awe about them, it's like, I can buy you as being this sort of otherworldly authority.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, then it'd be a case of, right, well, I'm still walking this tightrope because it's a big change, but there's a big safety net underneath.
That's true.
That's the best way I can think about describing it.
Yeah.
Because if I fall off, I've got this fantastic actress who's going to, or actor, sorry, I should say, who's going to catch me.
Get it right, Jack.
Who's going to catch me with their performance, and I'm going to be, you know what? Oh, the gender thing's from me, but they caught me with how good they are at the role.
Yeah.
And that's the point. And I haven't seen enough of Jodie Whittaker that makes me believe she could be the Doctor.
No.
Now, I'm waiting to be changed. I will watch like three episodes. The first 3 episodes that come out, we will sit here, if Sean can be here or not, I'll stick my own video up, just me on my own, and Sean will stick his video up of him on his own, whatever, just talking about those first 3 episodes. Episodes, I will give it 3 episodes to see where it goes, because you have to give it a fair chance, right? Okay.
I know. I think the argument that I had was people just going, you can't even say you got to give it. It was one of those ones. It's like you can't even have any reservations about it. Otherwise, you're a terrible person.
You have to 100% agree. Otherwise, you're sexist.
Otherwise, you're literally like, oh, a horrible person. It's like, no. I'm allowed to have reservations in the same way that I would have reservations over a certain male actor doing it. Do you know what I mean? It's just, I think people need to understand again, and it's fine. Doctor Who is all about change, but just don't be so hard on the people that are a bit kind of. People a bit, you know,
people
reserved
who want the
toward
evidence.
this change.
We want the evidence that this is a good thing.
Because obviously, if someone
1 episode, 2, or even 3 episodes, but we still want the evidence that this is a good idea.
Yeah, and you know, Matt Smith was a complete unknown to me at the time, and he proved that he was an excellent Doctor.
Yeah,
and you know, Jodie Whittaker, from what I've seen her in, I haven't been blown away by her performances. I'm not saying she's a bad actress. I'm just saying she doesn't feel like the Doctor to me, not yet anyway. Whereas there are other actresses out there, as I've said before, Olivia Colman, Lena Headey, obviously they're going to be busy with other bits, but they, to me, if they were cast, I'd be like, cool, brilliant. So I'm reserving judgment on her, not her sex.
There's enough good female actresses out there.
That's the line that needs to be sort of, you know, like you said, that's the fine line. And that's the line. That's the difference.
That's the difference between walking a trapeze wire with or without a net.
Indeed. And on that, we will close this episode of Nerdaholics.
Ta-ra.
Until next time, like, subscribe,
hashtag it,
whatever you want to do.
Do the kids still hashtag these days?
The kids are hashtagging, they're atting, they're fucking instaring and all this business. But anyway, if you enjoyed this, and even if you didn't, subscribe anyway.
Let us know.
Let us know in the comment section. Yeah. We're a growing channel. We want to learn how to improve, and we want to learn how to entertain you more.
And let us know how the cameras work, because this is
So
you'll
is
see the various test footage, but you know, because we're going to put that up, but because fun.
Because fun.
But
why not?
you know, it's like any notes of how this has worked out and how you guys are seeing this, so we can improve.
Because we want to do this we want to keep doing these videos. We want to keep entertaining ourselves as well as you. So, great. Until next time. See you later.
Ta-ra.